my show.
I talked to you yesterday.
Good. You are fantastic.
Thank you.
Yes.
A great host. Show is radio. Listen to his show.
Absolutely, 95.5.
I'm happy we chose to fly. I'm happy that life didn't clip our wings. Together we rule the skies. Together just you and I.
The initiative is part of the FAA's diversity and inclusion hiring plan. Think of that. The initiative is part of the FAA's diversity and inclusion hiring plan, which says diversity is integral to achieving FAA's mission of ensuring safe and efficient travel. I don't think so. I think it's just the opposite. The FAA website shows that the agency's guidance on diversity hiring were last updated on March 23rd of 22. They wanted to make it even more so. And then I came in, and I assume maybe this is the reason.
Ladies and gentlemen, Shelley Winter Show, live, local, topical, and relevant. Let me start off by saying, my brother, as many of you know, if you listen to the show, I voted for Donald Trump. Vote for him again. I know I'm not going to have the opportunity to, nor do I want the opportunity to. But I'm a Trump supporter. Let's get that off the table. But I'm also one of these that shares my opinion, and when I disagree hard. I got up this morning, and I was watching Kash Patel being his hearing. And I'm watching it. Chuck Grassley spoke to him, back and forth. And then White House gave a soliloquy and then didn't ask a question at all, and which tells me you don't really care about the nomination of the guy if you're not asking questions, right? So I'm watching this. I'm in the house. I'm laying in. I'm comfortable. I'm scrolling through Facebook and social media. I'm scrolling through Twitter, and I'm scrolling through the news, and I'm watching Kash Patel in this hearing. And then all of a sudden, Harris Faulkner comes on because I'm watching her on Fox, and she comes in. She pops in during the hearing, and she says, we're waiting now. Donald Trump's going to be doing live with a press conference on last night's crash. And I said to myself, oh, okay. It's my first thought. Oh, good. You're going out there. You're going to show some leadership. Talk about the lives lost. Oh, man, this is awesome. Good job. This is excellent. Do that. Be visible. Be there. Be in the moment. And so they kill some time, go to some commercials, talk, and then he comes out to the podium in the press room where I've been. I reckon I've been there before. And I see him walk out. And Harris Faulkner says, we're going to go to the president right now. And reading from notes, which is fine. I don't mind that at all. There's no teleprompter in the press room, and he's reading from notes, and I'm okay with that, right? That's fair. It's good. It's still the president. And his voice is soft. He's somber. He's reading, and he's showing empathy. In the way, in that way that when you've met him in person, you can see the empathy come off of him. You see the humor, you see the empathy, you see the humanness come off of him when you've met him in person. I always say, if you've ever met President Trump one-on-one, you have a different feeling, an impression of him. I met him twice, one-on-one. He's a good guy, right? So he's standing there, he's reading, he's talking about the lives lost. He's talking about in other countries, Russians, and nations coming together. He's talking about, it's how tragic this was and how the families, we got your back. That's what he said. We're going to come together as one nation, and we're going to mourn these lives lost. That's what he said. And I was saying to myself, yes, baby, you're killing it. Do your job as president. You're the leader of the free world. A tragedy just happened. A plane ran into an Army helicopter. All things bad. Everything. Questions. People having questions. The left is blaming you. The right is blaming DEI. And everybody's all crazy. And here you are as a leader telling people, yo, chill out. Their body's still in the water. Let's have sympathy for these families. And I'm watching and I'm saying, man, good job, brother. And then all of a sudden, he pivots. And I'm thinking, where you going? Dude, don't just walk off the stage. Take a couple questions, but don't. What are you going? Where are you going? And he pivots to what you just heard and more. DEI. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, no. Because let me tell you, for all of you who are on my side of the fence, because you're going to get mad at me, you're going to tell me, oh, Shelley, you don't understand. 448-720-0750, 1-800-WSB-TALK. My point here is that it was the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. Because you just pulled people together with empathy and emotion. Lives were lost, tragically. You just pulled us all together. You just made the conservative who believe it's DEI look like idiots, and you just made the left who was blaming you because the FAA guy was fired or left on his own before you got sworn in, and everybody looks like dummies because you're being a leader. And then you pivot to DEI in that moment. Now, I don't know what you know. I only know what I know, and I only know what the media is telling me. And at that point, when you pivoted, we didn't know anything. Now we know more. So if by bringing up DEI, you're essentially saying in that moment, I'm not talking about what we learn now, I'm talking about in that moment this morning, you're essentially saying that DEI caused these lives to be lost. And I'm thinking to myself, that's dumb to do because we don't have all the facts. Now that we have some facts trickling out, we find out there was one air traffic controller for 2 positions. That could have led to this. Well, we don't know if that air traffic controller was just hired. We don't know if he's a 20-year veteran. We don't know if he's white. We don't know if he's a woman. We don't know anything. Maybe you do. I don't. We do know that the crew chief was from Georgia. God bless his soul. Rest in peace. Condolences to his family. It's a white guy. We do know the pilot of the airline, white guy. So where is DEI in any of this? Why would you bring it up in that moment? Yes, I will run down the list of problems that the FAA has had with controversy around hiring and minority hiring. I'll do that. But until you point to someone involved in this, either the helicopter pilot, the pilot of the plane, the air traffic controller, or anyone else, until you point someone to be non-white dude, DEI has nothing to do with this. Why bring it up? And I'm thinking to myself, I can't go on for 2 years or possibly 4 defending everything, especially when it's indefensible. And this was strategic. This was a strategic mistake. You had people with you. Let's mourn for these families. Stop there. Stop there. This has nothing to do with DEI. This has nothing to do with the FAA and their programs. This has nothing to do with that. As far as we know right now, there's no reason to bring it up. It's stupid. And you know, we talk about on the right, oh, the media hates him, the media attacks him all the time. Well, if you know that, why give them the bullets to shoot at you? Why? What is the purpose of doing that? You don't have to defend yourself against the media. Yes, the media, people in the media were writing and tweeting and all of that, and people talked about it. Who cares? You already know they're going to do it. Strategically, why do you care what the left media that hates you says about anything? You're there for 4 years. What difference does it make what they say? There's no reason to defend yourself against attacks that you know are false attacks. Why do it? Why do it? I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. It's just. I was horrified this morning. Because I was like, what are you doing, dog? What are you doing? And why are you doing it? Because so far, I'm going to tell you, based on what the conservatives, I keep telling you you're wrong, but based on what conservatives see as DEI, usually means someone non-white getting a job they're unqualified for, right? That's what you see it as. If you're listening to me right now and you're conservative and you're anti-DEI, that's how you view DEI. Be honest with yourself. Well, as we look right now, I don't know this to be, I know from what I've seen since I went from show prep to this desk, not a single person involved yet is a minority, a woman, LGBT, or anything. White guy pilot, white guy crew chief. I don't know the ethnicity of the air traffic controller who is doing 2 jobs. So you're hard-pressed to convince me this was DEI. You're hard-pressed to convince me that this had anything to do with the controversies around black and aviation for air traffic controllers under the Obama administration, or the last guy, Phil Whitaker, with the Biden administration, who had to drop out because he didn't have a basic knowledge of air traffic controlling or federal aviation. He only ran an airport beforehand, and he dropped out. Until you tell me or show me that any of these people involved with that, then this was not a DEI issue, and there's no reason for the president of the United States to even bring it up, except to toss some red meat to the base. And there's no reason to toss red meat to the base. You know why, Mr. President? We won. 404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB-TALK. We'll be right back. It's the Shelley Winter Show.